Wushu Championship Tournament. This is our 35th anniversary, 35th annual tournament.
My phone.
Yeah. So we're really excited. We're really excited to be in this beautiful new venue. I know a number of you have probably been joining us in Hunt Valley, Maryland for the last 30-ish years. So that place no longer exists. It's been sold, scheduled for demolition, I believe. So through a lot of legwork, some of our volunteers found this great new place. So we're really looking forward to having you guys with us this weekend. Any first timers? Any first time people have been to our event? Say a couple. So we got a lot of familiar faces and some new people as well. All right, so we're happy to have all of you with us. My name is Ian Chisholm. I am the Vice President of the U.S. Wushu Federation and the Referee General of the World Wushu Federation. So, we have a phenomenal team of volunteers here. You'll see a lot of people wearing these shirts throughout the weekend. Gold judges shirts, which not too many people have them yet because they're being given out in the next meeting. But you'll see a number of our referees here. These are some of the most highly trained, most highly qualified referees that you could have refereeing your fights. All of these people have gone through rigorous training. Most, if not all of them, are former competitors as well. So you're in good hands. What we want to do with you tonight is go over the rules of the Lei Tai competition, make sure everyone is familiar with those rules so we're going from a level playing field. Give you a chance to ask some questions. Shifu Amy Buckley is going to be our executive referee. So Shifu Buckley will be demonstrating with two mock fighters the hand signals and commands that are used during Lei Tai competition. It's very important that you familiarize yourselves with these. Commands are given in Chinese and Mandarin, so universal in a way. But it's also important to understand the hand signals. Most important thing is to recognize the whistle. The whistle always stops the match. Don't fight through the whistle. Don't fight on the ground. This is stand-up fighting. So as soon as the fight goes to the ground, you will hear the whistle. Listen for that. Shifu Megan Mandy Gray is also with us. She is going to be going through the rules while Shifu Buckley demonstrates along with our fighters. Okay, two of the best, so they're going to take us through this.
Thank you, Master Chisholm. So as a reminder, before I get started, I just want everyone to know that the rules for the Lei Tai competition are on the TWKSF website. You have a QR code in your registration material, so you can review these and read through them before the competition there as well. So everyone should have had their gear checked during weigh-ins. So our requirements are that every competitor has headgear, gloves, and mouthpiece. Kung Fu style pants with elastic waistbands, no metal closures or zippers, so that all should have been checked today. I believe we might have one more competitor that needs to have a pair of pants checked, and we can do that at the end of the rules meeting. Shoes are optional. If you do have shoes, they have to be flexible soled, and that means you can fold them so the toe and heel touches. They can't have any metal or hard metal or plastic parts, so if they have the little anglets at the end, we will cut those off if we haven't already. Male competitors are required to wear a groin cup. Female competitors, chest protection and groin protection is optional. If you are using any optional gear, it just needs to be checked by our referee staff. Soft compression braces or ankle braces are allowed, as are a single layer of tape around the knuckles. But again, that just has to be checked and approved by our staff. All of your gear will be checked in the prep area as well before you walk out. If one competitor decides to wear shoes, the other competitor does not have to wear shoes. So that is a personal choice for each competitor. No jewelry, so please remove all earrings, rings, necklaces, visible or not, from your body before the Lei Tai competition. And the match order. We will be posting the match order for the coaches to review around 10 a.m., so please listen for the announcements tomorrow. We will have that posted. We'll announce the location here by the end of the meeting. If you have more than 3 fighters from one school, we will also provide the individual schools those brackets and fight order list after the review. So if you have more than 3 fighters, you will get your own copy of that as well. All the fighters will call you to the prep area around 12 o'clock, so please report there if you're within the first 15 matches in the match order. Once you have been checked in and your gear has been checked in the prep area, stay in the prep area until your match is called. That's very important. We don't want to be searching for you, looking for you, and as you'll see when we get to that part of the rules meeting, you can actually be disqualified if you don't report when you're called to the Lei Tai platform. So for our newcomers, we will line you up with your competitors in match order, and you will be walked into the ballroom to the Lei Tai platform for your matches. So as long as you're in the prep area, we will get you where you need to be. Once you are at the Lei Tai, everybody is required to have at least 1 coach in the corner. You can have up to 2, but no more than 2. There's no coaching from the corner during the matches. So coaches, your fighter can receive a foul if you coach them from the corner. So please, no shouting instructions from the corner during the match. There's also no filming or photography from the corner. We want you to be watching your fighter. It's for your fighter's safety, not filming. So if you want to have a film of the match, please hand your camera to somebody not in the corner to take care of that. All right, so we have made it to the Lei Tai platform. So the first thing that's going to happen once you come to the Lei Tai platform is the referee will call the fighters from their corners to the Lei Tai platform.
Do it.
Once you hear that whistle and that command, you have 10 seconds to report to your line. So then our competitors will bow to the head table and they will bow to each other. The referee will signal ready and then start the match. When you hear the whistle, that will stop the match and the referee will call the fighters back to their corner. So first off, I just want to ask, can everyone hear the whistle? Yes? All right. So the most important thing for you is to listen for that whistle and to follow the referee's commands. So once we are back in the round, the referee can call timeout for medical issues. I'll give you that hand signal here. There will be a timeout called. If the referee needs to call for a medic, you will see the signal here. That signals that the medic is to approach the Lei Tai platform. If we have a timeout or medical issue with one fighter, the referee will send the other fighter to a neutral corner. Just remember, we are turned at this point, so the neutral corners during the fights will be the white corners. We are rotated here. And when the issue is resolved, the fighters will be called back to their lines. And then when the round is over, the referee will signal the fighters back to their corners. So that covers most of our hand signals that you'll see from our referees. Now we're going to go through the point scoring. So I'll have the referee call the fighters back out. And start our round. So for 1-point techniques, you can score 1 point for a clear punch, palm strike, or kick to a legal target area. That will score you 1 point. You will also score 1 point for a clear elbow or knee technique without holding. So no holding, and you can score 1 point with that knee technique or elbow. You can also score 1 point for executing a throw, causing the opponent to fall if you land on top with control, covering the opponent's torso. The referee will stop the match when the technique goes to the floor and signal 1 point for the yellow fighter. You also obtain the point if your opponent loses their balance and falls to the Lei Tai without contact. This would be 1 point for the blue fighter. 2-point techniques. So if a contestant executes a clear punch or kick that knocks the opponent to the Lei Tai where they remain standing, the yellow fighter would earn 2 points. Now, when knocked down, a competitor has 10 seconds to return to the line. If they do not return to the line within their 10 seconds, they will lose the match. So you can go back to your line. 3-point techniques, or excuse me, one more 2-point technique. If you execute a throw, knocking your opponent to the ground while remaining standing, you will also earn 2 points. So that would be a 2-point technique. However, if any part of your body touches the Lei Tai platform during that throw, whether it's your hand, knee, then you will receive no points. So you must remain standing in order to earn the 2 points. So if you lose balance during the throw and touch the ground, that would be no points. And the referee will signal no points obtained. 3-point technique is if a contestant forces or throws the opponent from the platform. They will earn 3 points. So legal techniques but not scoring would be strikes to the leg below the knee, strikes to the arm, elbow and knee technique while holding. These are legal but not scoring, so you will not receive points for these techniques. Scoring areas include the side, top, and front of head, the side and front of the torso, the back as long as you're not hitting the spine or kidney, and the outer thigh if the foot is grounded. You can score a point. If the leg is lifted in a blocking motion, no point is scored. Illegal target areas. Any contact to the eyes, this is their favorite part, throat, back of head, spine or kidneys, joints, and inner thigh or groin are illegal. So those are illegal techniques and you will receive a foul for those. Techniques that are also not permitted are any technique that requires you to put a knee or hand on the ground, so such as an iron broom type sweep. Those are going to actually lose you a point because you have now touched the Lei Tai platform. So speaking of our fouls and penalties, so fouls for strikes to illegal areas. If you have a violation, the first violation is a minimum of a 1-point deduction. Your second violation is a 3-point deduction. And the third violation is a disqualification. There are also technical fouls. So a technical foul would be not engaging, which we will cover in just a moment. It can also be grabbing your opponent's shirt or headgear, not listening to the whistle, or any disrespectful conduct towards the executive referee or your opponent. For this type of violation, the first violation is typically a warning. The second violation is a 1-point deduction. And the third violation is a disqualification. But just be aware that any serious foul can be grounds for immediate disqualification, and the fouls are cumulative throughout the match. So if you have one violation in round 1, that's going to be a minimum of 1 point violation or 1 point deduction for the fouls. If you have another one in the second round, that's going to be 3. If you have a third one in that round, that would be disqualification. So they are cumulative throughout the rounds. So we'll do quickly an example of not engaging. So you have 10 seconds. The referee will count to 10 seconds if there is no engagement. After 10 seconds, the referee will stop the match, call the opponents back to the line, and both fighters will receive a warning. If it happens a second time, and they still aren't engaging after 10 seconds, the referee will once again stop, and both fighters will be disqualified. We also have what we call the rule of 3. So if a competitor is forced or thrown off the Lei Tai 3 times in one round, their opponent will win the match immediately. The rule of 3 also applies to a competitor who is struck 3 times to the ground in one match. Excuse me, that's 3 times in one round. If they're struck to the ground 3 times in one round, then you will also lose the match. Those are separate rules of 3, so they are not combined. So you can get thrown off twice, knocked down once, and you're still in the match. If the competitors are attempting a throw, so both competitors are holding and attempting a throw, they have 5 seconds to execute a throw before the referee will stop them and restart them in place. So this is very important to understand. The referee will restart you in place. So if they haven't called you back to that line, nobody's hit the ground. So please don't turn your back on your opponent and walk away at that point. You want to make sure that you're aware of that rule. If the fighters are holding one another and not attempting a throw, so you just get tired, and you're just taking a little break, nobody's doing anything, you only get 3 seconds. The referee will separate you after 3 seconds and restart the competition. Any competitor who maliciously hurts their opponent can be held liable for damages and injuries. The executive referee also has the full authority to stop the fight at any time for safety of the fighters or any other reason. So again, please listen to the executive referee. They are in charge on the platform. If a competitor does appear to be injured or requiring medical assistance, the executive referee can call a break, timeout, and call the medic to the platform. If the injury came from legal contact, so a legal strike from the opponent, the medical staff has 2 minutes to resolve the issue. If they can't resolve the issue in the 2 minutes, then the fighter will forfeit and their opponent will win.
So we see that a lot with the cuts right here, because they bleed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll stop the match to get you cleaned up, but try and make sure you save or Vaseline or whatever you need to do to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, we will stop the match for blood, so just be aware of that. Which brings me to my next point. It's a good transition there. If the same competitor suffers the same injury in the same match, so if you're bleeding from a cut, the medical staff patches you up in 2 minutes, sends you back out, and you start bleeding from that same cut again in the same match, you will forfeit the match. So we see that also with the cuts and bloody noses. So just be aware of that rule. If the injury comes from illegal contact, so a foul, so say a kick to the groin, and that cannot be resolved within 5 minutes, okay, then the other opponent will be disqualified, so they cannot continue. So basically, you cannot advance forward in the competition off of an illegal strike, off of a foul. If there's any kind of equipment issue, we will call a timeout for that. That would be, you have 2 minutes to resolve an equipment issue. So again, anything, we have extra shirts that we'll have at the head table if a shirt is ripped. We do not have extra headgear, pants, shoes, anything like that. So we recommend that you have those things on hand so that if there is an equipment issue, you can quickly resolve it for your fighter. But just be aware, at no time should the coaches approach the fighter in that situation, either a medical or an equipment situation. That will be handled by either the referees or the medical staff. So please hand your equipment to the referees and they will assist the fighter getting that equipment on.
And to give your fighter a foul by doing that.
Yes, and your fighter could get a foul for having that assistance. Same thing if they fall off the lei tai. Don't try to help them back up. They will also receive a foul for that. And then one of the last things I'm going to go over is just the arbitration. If any coach wants to dispute the results of a match and have arbitration for any reason, they must notify the chief referee verbally within 15 minutes of the match. So just be aware that 15-minute requirement. If the team coach must then file a written request for arbitration along with a $300 fee within 30 minutes of the match. If the arbitration is settled in the favor of the team, then the coach will receive a refund of that $300. Otherwise, there's no refund. Do you want to comment about that? Yep, absolutely.
So also with the arbitration process, bring that to the chief referee, normally here at the head table. You need to provide your own video evidence. So while we say we don't want the coaches videotaping from the corners because we want you to be watching your fighters for safety, if you want to record from the audience or something like that, that's fine. Just don't use a light or anything because it gets in people's eyes and they can't see. The other thing that's important to remember about arbitration is that arbitration is for you to bring to our attention something that you think was called incorrectly or in error. It's not to debate the decision of the corner referees who are actually scoring the match. So it's kind of like arguing balls and strikes in baseball. We could do that all day long. But if our referees call something a certain way, that's how they saw it. So again, if it's arbitration, bring something to our attention that you think was outside of the rules or something that was done incorrectly. We don't want to have you come and file arbitration and give us your fee when we know it's something that we can't even arbitrate. We don't want you to do that. So, is that any questions? Does that make sense? Yes?
Yeah, my question is concerned about if we have all the equipment has been checked. However, if a competitor hasn't received their shirt, what should we do?
If the competitor has not received the shirt yet,
Or for competition? Yeah.
did that happen this year?
This happened like recently, like today.
So your fighter has not received his or her shirt today? Okay. We'll have
Just
to
come and
check
see us.
as to why.
Yeah.
See us after the rules meeting and we'll be happy to help you with that. Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris will be able to take care of you with that.
Thanks. No problem. All right, so and then a few more notes about just the matches. If you are forfeiting for any reason, please still show up for your match if you are here. If your opponent no-shows or can't proceed for some other reason for injury, you may still win and you may still place, so please show up even if you plan to forfeit. And speaking of forfeits, also with the coaches, I should mention, please do also have a towel in your corner so that if you do need to throw it in for some reason for your competitor, you have that ability. If you place first through fourth, we will be lining up for the closing ceremonies. So please listen for those announcements where we'll be announcing that on Sunday for the closing ceremonies. And when you come to the closing ceremonies, we just ask that you are in a school uniform of some kind. No street clothes, no jeans, no flip-flops, no shorts, things like that. Please show up in your uniform. And no bare feet. So the last thing we're going to show you on the Lei Tai platform before we open it up to questions is how we conclude the match. So at the end of the final round, the fighters will be back at their corners. The referee, after, should we show the flags? No, we don't have flags. At the end, she will call them back out to the platform. You should approach with no headgear, so no headgear on for this part of it. The competitors will bow to each other, or bow to the head table, bow to each other. She's going to lift winner of the fight, yellow fighter. And then they will bow to the head table, bow to one another, and then be sent back to their corners. Fighters can congratulate each other or the opposite corner, but the referee will dismiss them.
Just remind them again not to come up until they're called.
And again, just as you have 10 seconds to report to your line, that's listening to the referee's command. Also, please do not get on the Lei Tai platform until the referee calls you onto the platform. So whether that's for a round, whether it's for the hand raise at the end, please wait until called by the referee. Again, we have a theme here, listen to the referee. All right, well, thank you all for attending the meeting. We really appreciate your attendance with this. We're going to open it up for some questions, so if there's any questions that anybody has, we can answer those.
Can you discuss the rules for holding and striking?
Yeah, so you can hold and strike, it's not scoring.
Okay.
But if you hold the gear, you will get called for holding the gear.
Is there a difference between hold the head and hit the head, or hold the head, hit the body, or anything like that?
I don't think we have anything.
You can't grab by the...
Yeah.
Not by
You just can't grab by the gear. But again, non-scoring.
What's the question?
If a strike from the clinch drops someone, does that score?
I didn't hear this.
If they're holding and hitting, but it makes someone go to the ground. Do they still get the 1 point for them going to the ground? I don't think we have that written anywhere.
No. They can't hold and strike repeatedly, right? They can't
Yeah.
grab around the neck and punch them in the face. You know, they're going to get separated
Yeah.
for that. If they grab one and hit them and knock them down, that's fine.
You
So
would
no
still count for
repeated
one.
strike.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess some clarification. That's a little bit of a nuanced question. It's not written out specifically that way, so that's why we wanted to confer. So there's no holding and repeated hitting, just so you know, because it's non-scoring, and so nobody's trying to score points. You will get separated. So we're not going to let you hold someone and hit them for 10 seconds on the Lei Tai platform. So you will get separated. It's not scoring, so basically it's unproductive in terms of the sport. So I'm gonna get to that. However, if you were holding someone and you hit them and they went to the ground, you could get 1 point in that time period for them going to the ground, but it would just be the 1 point. It wouldn't be the 2 points for a strike and the going to the ground.
What is the score for a 10 count? They drop, they're still getting up to the referee, 1, 2.
Can they, he's saying can they win that way? Like basically they knock them to the ground and it's 10 seconds and they can't get back up.
Yeah, they have 10
Yeah.
seconds to get back to their line.
Yeah. So it's still the same 10-second rule.
But they have to be on their line and ready to fight, even if they get back to the line.
Non-scoring technique, for example, the sweep to the leg. If you sweep someone to the leg or hit them in the leg, hold is non-scoring, correct? What if they go down from that? Is that scoring?
Yeah, if you are on your feet and you sweep yes, you've thrown them to the ground and you're still on your feet, that is still 2 points. Because it's not a strike to the leg per se, you're doing a throwing technique.
So any type of blood, if I have like a scrape from the plastic of the glove or a fingernail on my arm?
We will still stop to clean that up. That's a safety issue for us as
We
well.
always defer to the medical staff.
We defer to the medical staff once that situation comes up.
I have some times and locations if we
Oh,
want to
great.
go over those too.
I think there might be. Is that a question? Yep. Yeah.
I just had a question about like a leg kick. So if someone is throwing a kick to the lower leg and the opponent raise their leg up for a block, but still hit their lat here, does that count?
If the leg is raised in a blocking motion, it's non-scoring. Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. When you guys were demonstrating the takedowns and the do's and don'ts, in the first demonstration you said that if you landed on top of your opponent in a controlled manner, it's still counted as a takedown. But
For 1 point.
right. But then in the third demonstration, you had mentioned that the opponent couldn't touch the Lei Tai at all.
If the attempt is to throw and remain on feet and then they lose their balance and touch the Lei Tai platform, it's no points.
Well, how do you guys determine, like, does the person have to be like on top of their opponent for it to count?
Yes, they have to be covering the torso.
Okay,
The
covering,
torso
they
has
can
to be
touch
covering
covering
their torso.
as
Yeah.
long as they're
And you
just
can't
not
be
over.
like on all fours,
Right.
right? You have to be,
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Do you want me to announce it or do you want to do it?
You want to do it right now? It's just these.
All right, so we have a couple updates on times. Our plan is to begin the matches at 2 p.m. tomorrow with the prep area report at 1:30. So please report to the prep area by 1:30 if you're in those first 15 matches.
Prep area is going to be right out.
Oh, the prep area will be outside these far doors at this corner here. The fight order review will be in the Brookside room, which is downstairs, at 10:30.
Same room we did weigh-ins in.
The same room that we did the weigh-ins in. So that's where the fight order review will be at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and we will be announcing that as well.
One more question. When will the competitor brackets be available?
So after the review at 10:30, we will hand out the brackets to the schools that have more than 3 competitors. If you have less than 3 competitors, then you can come in and look at it and take photos of the brackets if you'd like to. Do you want me to close it up, or did you want to say it?
Okay, if there are no other questions, we want to let you guys go, let you get some rest, get some food, whatever suits your fancy. We want to thank Chief Buckley and Chief Gray for such a great job. And wish you all the best of luck tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves. If there's anything we can do, you can